Hello and welcome to another Nimble video tutorial. I'm happy to announce that all major development for Nimble version 5 is complete. I wanted to keep the IDE lean and responsive, so I decided to stop any major development and concentrate on only extensions and plugins for Nimble version 5. The reason why is I use Visual Studio Code at my day job, and I find that it's getting clunky and slow and starting to hiccup every now and then when you use it, and I just didn't want Nimble to go down that path. At 3.3 megs in size, it's a nice responsive IDE written in Electron, and I want to keep it that way. But let's brainstorm on how I can extend Nimble version 5. I made a video a few months back proposing that I could build a Trello clone in Nimble. And I wanted to just give you guys a look. I found this free project online and I just linked it in quickly so I could just give you a nice glimpse at what it would be like to have a Trello clone or some type of Kanban board directly in the Nimble IDE. Basically, it would appear up on desktop too. You would have all, of course, the drag drop features, the ability to see the details of a task, story, etc. And we could easily integrate this directly in the IDE via iframe. This project is called Singularity 1.0. It's an open source project. I believe it's written in React. I thought it was really sweet, so I just wanted to show you and just give you an idea and let your brain and imagination wander as how well we can incorporate a Kanban board into a development studio like this. A lot of times developers don't get to choose the technology stack or the tools that an organization uses, and many times that affects the efficiency of the developer. I personally don't like Jira. I don't really know of a developer that likes Jira. It seems to be a tool that's catered toward managers in the business, collecting the information on how well they perform. But I just feel like it could be integrated better with the development itself. Another pain point being a software developer is communication. Even just recently, there's cases where your front end and your back end don't communicate, or people on the same team or different teams don't communicate. And that affects performance, that affects efficiency within a company. Nimble attempts to address the concept that the REST services or contracts have changed, and the front end wasn't notified by including those APIs directly within the project itself. By data binding your elements, you have a record of what this particular project is using. And with the use of snapshots, you can see a historic change over REST endpoints through the life cycle of the project. I think that's an important feature to note, because it proactively puts the project in control, or being able to notify and find out when REST endpoints are breaking. Just simply query all the APIs that are connected to a project and you see the dependencies, so that you should never not know when something's going to break. And last but not least, let's take a look at our plugin design. So here I have just a closure function in JavaScript. This represents all you need to establish a plugin for the tool. Of course, a couple of variables for your title, name, and description. The ability to attach menu items if you need them. You do not have to include menu items in your plugin. However you want to overlay or build a UI over top of Nimble IDE, you can. There's the init and destroy function that will add and remove anything that you create to make sure you clean up after yourself. And once it's registered, you'll get this generic template will give you a confirmation that it was installed successfully. And I've included an about dialog to just give you some general information about the plugin. So I built a sample plugin here that I'm going to show you, which piggybacks off of the final, what I call the Endgame, for why Nimble is the best tool and the best framework for JavaScript. This plugin is a simple CSV export plugin that will navigate your entire project structure, all your controls and elements, and export them into a CSV file. I'm going to import this plugin so you can take a look. It'll give you a warning. You should only use trusted plugins. Here's your success message that is applied that you show when it's installed properly. And this particular plugin adds menu items right here. These last two. There's your about. This is the menu item that shows the about dialog. And what we're going to do is we're going to export the project. When we click on this project, it is loading every dialog, looking at every component, control, and exporting it to my ctemp folder. Here, you'll see I have elements.csv. I'm gonna take a look at that, and you'll see every dialog and the coordinates, the sizes of each control element in the dialog. I wanted to show you that because a lot of times web developers will see Nimble and talk about the syntax and it doesn't look like JavaScript or whatever their, I don't know what you call it, bias is when it comes to JavaScript. No, it is not React. No, it is not Angular. It does not follow the same principles. Nimble follows solid principles. It behaves and is coded like a C, C++ application. Frameworks, on the other hand, break a lot of the rules, and that's the reason why they are limited in scope of what you can build with them. That being said, if you haven't predicted where I'm going to go with this, it means that with plugins and with the ability to navigate every element in your project, I can export to any framework. Nimble can now build an export plugin to build a React.js application, and it will manage over 50 data points and be built to a standard superior to any standard that a developer could develop manually. I could export the Google Custom Elements version 1.0 specification from Nimble to this specification using a plugin. From Nimble to the Vue component specification via a plugin. And so on and so on. This was the end game. This is what I saw when I first designed this project. And if you hadn't predicted that this day would come, well, shame on you. You should have thought a little deeper. The Nimble version 5.0 premier web development interface for JavaScript. This year, I'm going to see how many of these standards I can include as plugins, and this baby will be complete. Thank you for watching.